blend your makeup, this video is going to be for you. This is how to get the most flawless finish with your makeup, no matter what kind of makeup you use. So hang out with me, save this video. My name is Lauren, I'm 44 years old, and I love making makeup easy for you guys. So before we start, say hi. This is gonna be, first of all, let's talk about my self-tanner mess up. It is so bad. Anyways, we're going to talk about how to get your makeup to look flawless on your skin. Whether you use liquid, powders, if you use creams, this is gonna be for you. So you're gonna wanna save this video. I'm gonna be using a lot of different products, and my intent, yes, Monday Fun Day with me. Yes, I hope it's fun. But my intent for this video is that you can go into your makeup drawer and you're going to put your makeup on again and you're gonna be like, my makeup looks so much better on my skin. Hi, Deborah, how are you? Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull my hair back. But like I said, I'm gonna be using a lot of different products. I will link everything at the end of this video, but my intent is to show you that there are so many different products out there, and whatever you love for your skin, it's all about blending and how you apply it, okay? And it's your brushes, and we're gonna talk about all of it. So we're gonna start with foundation. If you've been here for even a little bit of time, you're gonna know that I don't love liquid foundation for mature skin. I just feel like it just accentuates all the things that we don't want. So I'm not gonna show you liquid because I do stick to my guns when I talk about what I like and what I don't like. So I'm going to show you with my creams how I applied that. But, hi, Allison. Oh, good night. Oh my goodness, we are very different in time zones, aren't we, right now? My intent with this video, though, is, like I said, you're going to be able to do whatever you have at home and have a better finish. So if you are applying your makeup, it looks patchy, it looks cakey, it looks heavy, it doesn't look natural, this video is hopefully going to help you take some of this away where you're going to be like, okay, I can blend my makeup flawlessly. And I haven't really done a video on this before. So we're gonna start with, the first thing you wanna do is make sure you moisturize your face. So whatever skincare you use, make sure it's soaked into the skin, make sure you've hydrated, make sure that your skin is prepped, ready to go. You never wanna go on with any, oh, hello, Julie. You never wanna go on with any type of product onto a skin that your moisturizer hasn't settled, or it's just gonna be a slipping, sliding mess, especially if you're oily or acne prone, okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing, what kind of coverage do you want? Do you want a light coverage? Do you want a medium coverage or a full coverage? That's gonna depend on your brushes. So using a more dense brush, something like this, you're gonna get a more full coverage. If you have something that's less dense and a little bit more like movable, that's gonna give you less coverage. So those are kind of what you need to ask yourself before you apply your makeup. What is my intent with my makeup? Next thing is I'm gonna do more of a full coverage look. So I don't normally apply my makeup like this in layers, but I'm gonna show you just how to do that in case that's more of a look that you want. Normally, I place my makeup in different areas. You've seen lots of videos of that, and I will then blend that out instead of layering, but I am gonna show you how to apply your foundation all over instead of just how I normally do it, just so you get a good idea, okay? So you can use any type of brush. So this brush is awesome because it's bigger. See how dense that is? Oh, thank you, Melody. This is going to be bigger and it's going to be dense, so it's going to be really easy to get your whole face done. So you can use a bigger brush like this, or you can use something like this that's a little smaller. I'm going to reach for this just to show you how this works. This is the BK Beauty 101 brush. This is the travel size, so it's a little bit smaller. And you're going to use your hand. You guys, I'm so embarrassed by my hands. Look at my hands. This is the worst self-tanner job I've probably ever done. So I'm owning it, okay? So you're gonna see a lot of my hands. So what you wanna do is you're gonna use your hand as a palette. It's gonna be what you're gonna blend your makeup on, okay? Now, you can use a metal palette, you can use other things, but your hand is always gonna be something that's right here. You don't have to go look for it, and it's just easy. Make sure it's clean, okay? Look at this. I can't take myself seriously. All right, so what we're gonna do is, this is my cream makeup. I use Cream Makeup by Saint. You can use whatever you have, okay? But we are gonna use cream. Once you've prepped your face with your skincare, you can use a primer if you want. I'm just gonna go on straight like this. I always have a sunscreen on. Prep your skin. Then instead of going, now there's lots of ways you see people apply makeup on Instagram or social media, right? And a lot of it is for an effect to get you to stop and watch, versus how in reality they're probably applying the makeup. So this is gonna be a reality, like this is how I would put on somebody's makeup if they were coming into my my house to do, you know, makeup, or if I was doing my own. So I am going to I kind of mix two foundations, and I'm going to just tap my brush onto that. Now I'm not gonna go straight onto my face. If I go straight onto my face, it's gonna be a cakey mess, and I don't want that. So then whatever I have on my brush, I'm then going to pat onto my hand. Now, why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I want to evenly coat my brush. I don't want to just have patchiness on the brush. So if like part of your makeup's on one side and not the other, it's not covered, it's not going to go on nicely. So I'm kind of going in and out, making sure I'm just working that product onto the hand. It's going to warm it up. And then I'm going to start at the bottom of the face. Okay, so I'm just tapping, and I'm not swiping. If I swipe, you're gonna get unevenness, it's gonna look patchy, and it's gonna be a big mess. So no matter if you're using liquid, if you're using creams, you want to push it into the skin versus swiping, because once that brush is evenly covered, look how smooth that makes my skin. So here's no makeup, here's how smooth that looks. I'm gonna leave my under eyes alone, and I'm not gonna touch them. I'm not even putting foundation up here, nothing. Okay, that's where you'd put your primer when you go to do your eyes. So I'm leaving all that alone, and I'm just tapping this into my skin. That's gonna give you the most natural coverage. Okay, the other tidbit, when you are picking your foundation shade, this is the BK Beauty 101 brush. You can use anything, but what I love about this brush the most, you can see I'm kind of dipping, coming back. What I like about this brush the most is it's large and it's very dense. So I can cover a large range of my face and get it done pretty fast. And for me, I like quick makeup. I don't want to be like taking hours. I don't have time to do my makeup. So anything that is fast and easy is my jam. You can buy this palette from me. So I do free color matches. I let you know what I would do color-wise. And then I send you all of that. So all you have to do is, when I post this, comment match, and I'll send you my free form, and I do that for you. So, okay, leaving under eyes alone, and then I'm just gonna come up here and get the majority of my forehead. But see how I'm just patting? It's like a cat paws a couch. That's the best way for me to explain this. And I'm just using one color. Now, look at this. If I'm just using one color, though, I look a little washed out, right? We're gonna bring back the color. So using one shade of foundation, to me, just makes you look washed out. It doesn't ever make you look like yourself. So that's why we want to add warmth to the skin. But I just want to show you how this is just evening everything out and super easy, okay? That's your foundation. That's it. Now, if you are someone who likes to use a beauty blender, you can use that to apply your foundation. It's the exact same thing. So you just tap in, oops, tap in, tap onto your hand. Make sure it's damp. If it's not damp, not gonna do a good job. So I will like wring this out under the sink until it's damp. Then I'll put it in a towel, and I will make sure it's not soaking wet when I go into the face. You don't wanna take your makeup off. But this is also really great if you wanna remove any makeup or you've applied too much, but I'm just tapping it, just pouncing it on the skin. So I know a lot of you guys like to use sponges. That's how you're gonna use this sponge, okay? All right, once you've got your foundation on, we're gonna go into our under eyes, okay? And I'm gonna, and make sure you're not commenting match yet, because I won't be able to send you my form until this is posted on my page. So make sure you're following me, and then when this is posted on my page, just comment match and it will send you the form. So super easy. All right, I'm gonna show you two different ways to correct your eyes. One of them will be liquid concealer, because I know a lot of you use that, and one's gonna be a cream so you can see the difference, okay? So when you're doing your under eyes, you wanna use a brush that's very, very fluffy and light, or something that's more dense. See how this one has an angle to it? And I will list all of these brushes, I promise, for your under eyes, okay? So I'm gonna use one on one side, one on the other so you can see. You can also color correct. So there's lots of different ways to get a color correcting palette. This is one that's great. This is a Celeste one. I will also put all the links for everything when I post this. But this one has a lot of different colors. So when I go in color correct first, I'm looking at discoloration under the eye. If I go in straight onto the face, you didn't know to tap. Good, you learned something. I love that. It'll make it, that'll be a game changer in your routine. If you're swiping, even with liquid, this will be a game changer. what I want to do when I go into my under eye is I'm not going to do a whole, I have so many videos on this, so I'm going to do it really fast. But I don't want to just put a concealer. If I put a concealer there, it's going to pop forward, it's going to brighten, it's going to make everything just look really textury under there versus actually getting rid of this discoloration. So what I want to do is I want to look at the discoloration. You can see I have some purples on the inner corner. I have a little bit of a blue, and it kind of moves into a little bit of blue down here. So I'm going to go opposite the color wheel. I love this palette. It's $34. It's so cheap because it has everything you possibly would ever need to color correct. Anything on your face, acne, blemishes, all those things, melasma. And I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit. This has a tiny little, I don't know, I call it like a little artist paintbrush. So that way you can get right into correct the discoloration. So I'm going to go into that purpley color first with a yellow because that's going to counteract that. Just like that, not much product. And then I'm going to go in with a peach toned for the blue. Once again, not much product. What we want to do, and the reason we don't take foundation up under the eyes is because the more foundation you take up under the eyes, the more you're going to crease. So if you find that anything you're using, whether it be liquid or cream, is creasing, 9 times out of 10, you're just putting too much on and you're not fixing the problem, which is usually the discoloration. So then I just take this side and I just kind of tap that. I can kind of swipe with this, but I do want to keep the product right where I applied it because that's what's correcting. Can you just see how that just got rid of that hollow? Yes, I still have it a little bit, but you can even go in with a little bit of a darker color right into that hollow and correct it that way. Okay, the more time I spend, the better I can do. This is fast, okay? Then I'm gonna show you a cream concealer on this side. So this is by a company called Trustique, I think. I love their products. They're all cream, but they're so cute. Anyways, I'm going to apply my concealer right on the inner corner. I'm gonna apply it right here. Under that, I'm not putting it straight underneath that eye, because if I do, that's where I hold a lot of texture. That's where a lot of us hold fine lines. If you have crow's feet here, don't put it right on the crow's feet. Come up higher, like that. I don't have really that area, so I'm gonna bring it to that eye, but we're not applying it all under the eye. We're just not gonna scribble and just hope for the best, okay? We're not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna apply it there. Now, one thing with cream, while I'm talking to you, it's warming up on the skin, and the reason I want it to do that is it's going to blend a lot better. So as that's warming, I'm gonna go back in with this brush, and here's a little trick for you people that don't like powder like I don't. Use a setting spray to set your under eyes. So I'm gonna spray my brush with this setting spray. This is cheap e.l.f. Blue Light, love it. $10 or something. And I'm going to start from the outer corner, and I'm just going to blend that up. And once again, you're tapping, you're not gonna swipe. If you swipe, you're just gonna pull, you're gonna pull the product where you don't want it, but you're also going to take it off the skin and you're gonna disrupt anything that's next to it. So as I'm doing that, I have the product on the skin, right? I didn't apply it underneath here, but I am bringing it up under the eye because I do have a little bit of product there. So I'm bringing it down the nose because we want to brighten that area, but I'm really using hardly any product. So even if you have the darkest under eye circles, you guys, it's all about color correcting first and then brightening. And I don't care how dark your circles are, we could make them look less dark depending on what you use. So there you go, easy, right? Now I've got a bright under eye. Look how much more awake that looks than this one. Super easy, super simple. That's it. You can also take a highlighter stick like this if you really wanted to have like a couple colors going on, which I think our face are more than one color, and just really bring that concealer, kind of like you're drawing a line down the middle of your face, and just kind of blend that out. And that just gives that definition to the face, but it just makes it look like you're not one shade of a blank piece of paper, because we have a lot of shades to our face, right? So just like that. So there you go. Now I've got my concealer on this side, not on this side, and I've got my foundation on, and it looks like real skin. Hopefully you can see. I'm trying to get close so you can see. I still have really flawless looking skin, but I have makeup on it, so it just kind of evens everything out. Now I'm gonna show you, if you're a concealer girl, okay, you like a liquid concealer, we're gonna use these two. These are by Kosas. One is more of like a peach colored one, and one is just a regular concealer. So I think this is the right one, let me see, yeah. So this one, With a liquid, I put it on the back of my hand. I'm not gonna go underneath straight away because what's gonna happen is, like, look how little amount of product I put on my brush, but look how much went on to my hand. So we don't wanna do that. So I'm gonna use, this is the BK Beauty brush, okay? And I'm gonna press that onto my brush. And the reason, once again, it's the same thing, the same reason for the foundation is I wanna make sure that my brush is evenly coated. And I'm gonna just take that on the inner corner of the eye and down the side of the nose. And this is gonna brighten everywhere, but it's not applying so much product. This dries a little faster too, so you do have to work a little bit quicker with this than creams. But this is just gonna brighten everything. So already, like, that just looks so much brighter. You can always go back in and add a little bit more. Put it down over here if you want. I mean, this is already dried down on my hand, so that is something to be aware of. Now, if you're using a beauty blender, let me show you really quick how you can apply it, because I know some of you prefer that. With a beauty blender, you wanna take the edge of it, not the big section. Which do I prefer? Creams, 100%. Like, just the way that lays under my skin just looks so much more youthful to me. It doesn't dry down as quickly. I find, for my own self, I find that concealer that is liquid tends to dry down really fast, but also can really sit in fine lines and wrinkles. I just don't love it. I'm a cream girl though, 100%. I know a lot of people prefer liquids, and so that's why I want to show it, but it's not my top choice. So, to be transparent, like I always am, probably too transparent. Okay, then we're gonna go on with, now that we've kind of corrected and made that under eye just look a little bit better, we're gonna go in with a concealer. With your concealer, you wanna pick something that is 1 shade, maybe 2 shades lighter than your foundation, and it's gonna be the same thing, okay? If you have a lot of crow's feet, skip this area, but same type of placement. And then you can use, like I said, the beauty blender, you can use that pointed edge, or you can go in with a brush, and we're gonna start in the outer corner, same thing, tap, 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 tap. What that's gonna do is it's gonna soak and absorb into the skin. I like to keep this side really, really bright and light because we are gonna go in with contour, we're gonna come in with all of those other products that are gonna bring out some warmth to the skin. But if you bring this down the side of your nose, it's gonna make your nose look a little slimmer without using contour. It's also gonna brighten the areas of the face that we wanna see. So there's liquid and there is cream, okay? Cream concealer and cream corrector, and then this is liquid on both, okay? So just so you can see the difference. But that tapping motion is really important. Using a brush, I love this one because it's just so flat. I also really love this one because you can really get into those areas of discoloration if you are using a color corrector palette. Okay, under eyes, done. Now we're gonna contour, okay? Contour. Now, there are a lot of different ways you can contour. There's a lot of different methods. I've got liquid. This is the Rare Beauty Contour. I'm gonna show you how to use this because a lot of us are using liquids and we're putting way too much on our face. There's this one, this is by Tarte. This is the Sculpt Tape, where it's more of like a dot of product. It's a liquid as well. And then we have creams. So I'm gonna do creams on one side, I'm gonna do the liquid on the other side, okay? So this is, I wanna show you this one because I've actually had a lot of you in my inbox asking me what I think about this one. I actually really don't mind this liquid one, which I'm actually surprised I'm saying that. But I don't mind it. It's really though about how you apply it versus how it's gonna go on. Because if you put this on wrong and you do it like you see a lot of people on social media do it, it's gonna really disrupt everything we just did. So I'm gonna show you that. First thing first though, when you are applying a contour, using a brush that has some kind of straight edge or some kind of angled edge. Even this one would work. See how it kind of domes down? You wanna have something that you can really get to the side and be able to really work that contour. So I love this brush. This is from Saint, and I just like it because it's gonna get right onto that contour area. Okay, so let's do liquid first. Biggest mistake I see with this liquid, I mean, this is going to last you so long. Like, you don't need much at all. So if you are wanting a liquid one, this is great, okay? But a lot of times I see dot, 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 right? They go straight in, dot, dot, dot. Now, if you do that, one, you're gonna have a big fat mess. It's gonna be too much product. But what I like to do is, once again, use my hand as a palette, a blending palette, okay? Now, look at that. Oh, I'm so glad that my tips are helpful. So I've got that on my hand. I'm gonna take the side of my brush, okay? And I'm just gonna tap it onto the side of my brush. So I'm evening and coating it the way I want, okay? I'm gonna find where I wanna put that, and I have lots of videos on placement, so we're not gonna do that, but I'm going to make a really nice thin line, so like that, okay? Not a thick line and nothing crazy, just enough that we want to look natural. Now, with this, you're going to start at the bottom of your contour and you're going to blend to the temple. But as I'm blending, I'm actually going up towards the eye. And what that's doing is it's giving me a nice shadow. See how I have a shadow? I don't have this harsh line. It looks very natural. Ooh, that's a good question. 1 second, I'll get to that. And so I'm not gonna make it dip down. I'm not going to make a thick stripe. I'm just tapping it until I have that nice shadow. I can always add more if I want, but like I said, you gotta work pretty fast with this stuff. And then I'm going to take the flat part of my brush and blend upwards. Look at that, nice chiseled little cheek. Someone asked, how do you know the right shade of contour? Such a good question. Rule of thumb, I match to your eyebrows or the roots of your hair. So depending on if you have your natural roots, a lot of us don't, I go with the eyebrows. So yeah, and look how cool toned my eyebrows are, right? Cool tone is what you want to go with versus something that's more warm. So like a bronzer that's warm, right? See the warmth in that versus something like this contour that's very cool toned is, oh, someone just asked me, difference, let me show you. This is cool toned. Can you see how cool toned that is? It's very ashy. It matches my eyebrows almost perfectly. But then if I was to do something like bronzer, see how bronzer is going to be way warmer than that. This won't cast a shadow. The whole reason you're using contour is to cast a shadow. So you want to use something that has more of an ash undertone with contour versus something like this. This is bronzer. It's going to warm you up like you've been in the sun. So that's the difference between the two. And do you need both? Yes, 100% you need both because they're doing totally different things. Contour is going to make things look smaller. It's going to recede, add shadows to the face. Bronzer is just warming it up. It's giving you that sun-kissed glow. If you're using too light of a foundation, bronzer is so awesome because bronzer is going to warm up your foundation. So bronzer has a total place on the face, and so does contour. Oh, I'm so glad you're learning something new. Okay, let me show you really quick another way you can try a liquid bronzer, okay? Or a contour, sorry. I misspoke. Once again, I'm going like this on the side because I do not want to put too much on my face. And I'm gonna come in just with one dot. One dot, that's all you need. This stuff, like I said, will last you forever. And you're going to tap to the hairline. Look at that. Now, one thing with applying it on the face though, is it can look patchy. So that's why I really like the back of my hand. But I did wanna show you if that was like something you really wanted to learn, you can do it, but just one dot. And then really press that into the skin. Okay, I leave this alone. I want this to look plump. I don't want to hollow that area. Contour will immediately bring your face in. So you want to think about that, okay? Now, if my forehead is larger, I can bring the contour down lower, but really you want to blend back into the temple. So that is how natural, look how good. I really do love this contour. I think it's great, but I like how natural that looks. Okay, now let me show you creams, okay? So how I would contour with cream. So my cream contour is in my palette. It's this color. So you can see they're very similar in color. They both have that ash. But same thing. I'm actually going to take the side of my brush and I'm going to rub it onto the side of the contour. So I'm really working it on there. Same thing. I'm going to find the high point of my cheekbone and I'm going to just kind of see, I'm just kind of pressing it into the skin, almost like a stamp. And I don't go any farther than my eye. Okay, now cream contour. Cream contour is not meant to blend like a cream foundation. It's going to be a lot harder to blend and it's supposed to cover your pores. It's supposed to be thicker. So if you have a hard time with your cream contour blending, use a setting spray. And same thing, you're gonna start at the edge and you're going to push up. Okay, creams are gonna be more pigmented than that liquid. So you're gonna have to really blend and press. But both give a very nice, natural shadow to the face. Blending up to the temple. You don't want to have any whiteness here. So I always like to hold back my hair, especially if you have blonde hair like I do. It's very noticeable if you don't blend out your contour correctly. So see how that's just a nice natural shade. So nice. And then the same on here on your forehead. I'm just gonna go onto the side of my contour, and I'm just gonna make a little line. Notice how natural I'm doing this. I'm not doing anything crazy. I don't want it to look crazy. I want it to look like, when you see me, I want to look like me, just a little bit contoured. I don't want to look crazy. I'm going probably nowhere today. So I don't want to look crazy. Okay. Now you can always make this more dramatic if you're going to somewhere like, you know, you're going out to dinner, you're going to an event, whatever, but this is everyday natural. Okay. So there you go. Cream, liquid. Okay. Now with cream, it's really easy to apply it to the nose because you can come right on these sides. I wanted to see, I will say if you are a beginner with contour, using a contour that, I don't know if this brand sent me one. Oh yeah, they did. You want to use a contour with a stick if you're brand new, because it is really easy. This is by that Trustique again. Oh no, that's not it. Darn it. I don't know if I have my stick contour, but a stick contour is just so easy to work with too. I don't love this one. I'll be honest, if you own this one, this is not my favorite. The reason is it's too warm and it's really hard to control. The product comes out, let me see if I can show you. Just comes out so much. I don't love this. So this kind of formula, this kind of product is really hard. If you're not good at makeup, it's a harder one. So I would suggest a stick or even applying it with your finger. You can even take like this Rare Beauty one if you're gonna do your nose and just apply a little to your finger like this, and you can kind of just tap like this. See how, like hardly any product, you guys. You don't need much at all, and then you can just take that and just blend it in and up to the eyebrows, and you got a nose contour. So easy. We make it so hard. It really is just so easy. Keeping it on the top of the nose, okay? So we've got your nose contour. So we've got contour, foundation, we've got concealer. We now know how to blend those, right? Feeling good about that, I hope. So now let's do bronzer. I like to apply bronzer and then blush. Bronzer and blush are married to each other, okay? So think about when you get married, you come together as a couple. So the same thing with bronzer and blush. So there are lots of ways to apply bronzer. I will 100% suggest a cream bronzer. There are stick foundations like this. There are ones that are in more of like a pan, like this. Looks like this. And then you have the one in my palette, which is kind of cool because everything's in here, that's in like a tin. So it really is, what do you prefer? I'm gonna show you a stick and I'm gonna show you just this tin formula. How easy it is. With bronzer, I like to use a brush that is, oh good, I'm so glad this is helpful. Sometimes I don't know, but I feel like you can have all the tips and tricks in the world, but if you don't know how to blend your makeup, it's never gonna look how you want it to. So hopefully you guys save this video and come back to it. This brush is awesome. This is the BK Beauty 106 brush. Also, if you have Saint already, you have my palette, the blush and bronzer brush is great, okay? Here's the trick with bronzer. Don't go straight on your face, ever, ever, ever. Same thing. Bronzer is warm, so like just a little is gonna go a long way. Like, already too much, okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna use your hand as the palette. Now, yes, is my hand a mess? Totally, but I'm just gonna go around all that stuff that I've already put on, and I'm going to coat my brush so it's even. And bronzer is gonna go anywhere the sun naturally hits your face. So you're gonna start and just kind of work that on top of where you put the contour. So here's my contour, bronzer's right on top of it. If you want a palette like I'm showing you, I can color match you and I can get it for you. So I can give you all my recommendations. You can get a palette that's customized to you. You just have to comment match. You can go on any of my posts and comment match, and my form will be sent to you, and then you fill that out, and then I just send you back an email with all of my recommendations. So it's really easy. Warm up. Look how that warmed up my face. Now I'm going to show you if you get kind of your contour too high, or it looks like when you put your blush on, it looks kind of patchy. I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that too. But I'm just going to put the bronzer on the tops of the forehead. I like to put it on my chin, and then I bring it down the side of my neck, okay? So see how this kind of looks like a stripe a little bit? I'm going to show you in a minute how we fix that. But look at the difference of the warmth that I just created on the face. That is going to make you look more youthful. If you're using products that are too light, it ages you. So we want to bring back that warmth. If you want to use a stick foundation, do not go straight on with your stick. You see people do that all the time. Listen, it's social media. People are trying to stop your scroll. That's why we're doing that. But what we want to do instead is we want to warm that up onto the skin, okay? So just a little bit onto the skin. And then you're going to coat your brush. See? Coat. And I'm just tapping it, making sure I'm coating everywhere. And then I just, for good measure, tap a little bit more off, and then I'll just go on top. Same thing. Pushing it into the skin. We're not gonna swipe. If you swipe, you're gonna disrupt everything we just did, okay? Whatever's left on my brush, I'm just bringing it up and just tapping over the nose, okay? That's it. But we still look a little crazy, and we don't wanna look crazy. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna apply the blush, and I'm gonna show you a trick so we don't look too crazy, okay? Because we don't wanna have these lines here. So now I'm gonna do my blush. I have a liquid blush and I have a cream blush that I'm gonna show you so you can see the difference of how to apply. Cream blush, same thing. This is by that Trustique company that I was telling you about. It's a little bit, kind of a whiter, It's kind of a whiter little applicator. So once again, I'm just gonna put that on my hand, see, just like this. And I'm going to get my brush. I'm going to use this domed angled brush because I like how this applies it. And I'm just going to tap in. You can use the same brush for all of this, you guys. I just want to show you that if you have something in your house, it's still something you can use. You don't have to go buy new products. You probably have something in your house. Now I'm doing more of a lifted look, so I'm here and I'm just on top of that blush, or on top of that bronzer, sorry. This is kind of a lighter shade than I'm wanting it to be, but it's pretty. It's just cream. Sometimes they look scary, but you're gonna have to build the color. You can bring that blush even up here. Let's see how I'm marrying the two. And look, it doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look heavy. It just looks very, very flawless and soft on the skin, okay? So that's the blush. If you wanna use a liquid blush, same thing. You can put one dot on your skin, or you can put it on your hand, or you can just put one dot, just like that. This is all you need with liquid blush, and then you're just gonna tap that out. Now this one, liquid blush, is kind of dangerous if you're new to makeup because look how little amount I put on, but what can happen is if you don't work fast, it can get really splotchy, and it's also a lot of product, and so you have to be careful how much you're putting on because with blush, you can get in trouble really fast. So just being really aware of that if you're using a liquid, okay? But there you go. So there's the liquid. It's married right onto the bronzer. There's your contour. See how that works? Now, but I don't like how this looks crazy. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take my concealer stick and we're gonna soften that area. We're just gonna draw a little bit right here and right here. And then I'm gonna draw a little bit right here, right under my contour line, like that. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I want to soften the look and I wanna make it look natural. So right back in with that concealer brush. I'm not going under the eye, I'm just tapping and softening the top of that blush line. So we don't close off the eye and we also don't have that thick line. And with here, I'm just gonna blend that down. But once again, still tapping. See how that cleaned that look up compared to that side? So that's just a little trick you can use. That's why I like a concealer stick because it does give you a lot of control, but you can use a liquid concealer same way to really get that nice, natural, not streaky, like you have this line of product. Oh good, I'm glad these are helping. Okay, now let's get up close and personal so you can see how my skin looks very, very natural. It doesn't look crazy. It looks very skin-like, and that's what we want, okay? So no matter what you're doing, whatever you're using, how you apply it, the brushes you use, the way you're tapping, the way you're pushing it, all makes a huge difference, okay? So there you go. Then, one more little tip for you. Well, two more tips for you. One, if you like an illuminator, I have two for you. I have the liquid version, and then I have this cream. Yeah, definitely natural. As we age, less is more. Now this looks scary as all daylights, doesn't it? This is called Honey. It's a cream illuminator. Why do we need an illuminator? We need an illuminator because as we age, we lose the glow to our skin. Now creams, that's what somebody asked me earlier if I like liquids. And why I don't is because I feel like cream brings back the glow to my skin so much. And so I tend to go that way because I want that hydrated look. This is why we put on an illuminator, because if you put on an illuminator, it's going to add youthfulness to the skin and glow. Now, when I applied that, I should have said something, but I'm not putting it right here. This is fine lines, these are wrinkles. Do not put your illuminator there. You're going to go right where you place the blush. And I'm using my fingers with this because it just makes it look more natural. But look, when I turn my head, it catches the light and it gives me a more youthful look. You can also put it at the edge of your nose, the top of the nose, and if you have a small lip like I do, you can even apply it right here, and that's gonna give you the look of a little bit bigger lip. So this has a lot of purpose, and it's not scary, okay? So this is going to be your cream look, but if you were like, I wanna try the Rare Beauty one, because we all love Rare Beauty, right? That's like a big name brand, same thing, just one dot. I think one dot is a lot, okay? And I can't really get it on there. So this one is more of like a pearl color. This one is called Enlighten. Once again, I'm gonna use my ring finger, keeping it away from the under eye, but right on top of the blush, and then I like to bring it around the eye. So think of like a C, and this one is very pigmented. So once again, liquid's gonna be a little bit more. You gotta work fast, because you can see it kind of makes it look a little patchy. So you can go right back in. I'm just gonna blend that out with a brush, but you got to be a little bit fast with that one. Cream, liquid, okay? So there we go. That is it. Now the last thing I want to show you is you have to set your makeup. I get messages every day saying that my makeup is moving, it's not staying. I put my makeup on a couple hours later, it's gone. Here's the hint for that. If you are dry, you don't need a powder. If you're acne prone, if you are oily, or you're combo skin, definitely apply a powder, okay? Not all over the face. Like I remember growing up, and my mom will probably kill me for this, but she would take like a fluffy brush in like a loose powder and she'd all over the face. No, 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 no. You wanna have like some kind, you can use a sponge like this, tap it into your powder and push wherever you need it. Only when where you get oily or shiny. Or if you're dry like me, here's a great tip. Take your setting spray on your damp sponge. Make sure this is damp. If this is dry, it'll make a huge, huge mess on the skin. We already look really smooth and flawless, but we do not want to go in with a dry sponge. Yes, the loose powder compact, you can use it. There's a place for it. There is, but use like a sponge versus like a big fluffy brush. So it's gonna disrupt everything. So this is my sponge. It's old, like I've got a hole in there. And I'm just putting my setting spray on it, okay? Setting spray, I'm using the flat side, and I'm gonna tap everything I just did. Two things, this is going to make sure it doesn't move all day, so you're setting your space, and you're going to even out anything that maybe you didn't quite even out. You had a hard time maybe blending it with your brush. And there you go, like so easy. Look how good and flawless that looks. And now your makeup is going to look the same. So I hope this was helpful. You can also take your setting spray and spray one more time if it's coming off. And then also really quick, the setting spray you're using has to go with like what your skin is like. So not all setting sprays are for one type of skin. So if you're using a setting spray already and you're like, Lauren, my makeup is still moving, message me, I can help you. There's great ones for oily skin, there's great ones for dry skin, and they will make a big difference in your makeup. So, all right, you guys, if you are interested in any of the products I used, give me a minute. I'm gonna link them, but I'm gonna post this on my page. You can comment link, and I will send you everything. And then if you want a free color match, just comment match. How often do I wash my brushes? I use a brush spray that I spray on my brushes that will immediately clean them. And I do that in between uses. And then I deep clean my brush with olive oil and dish soap. I do that 2 times a month. And that's gonna get all the bacteria off. You are so welcome, so welcome. All right, you guys, make sure to save this. If you have questions, comment on here. I will love, love, love to answer any questions that you have. You can still use loose powder. I guess I shouldn't have said that. I have like a hair in my eye. You can still use loose powder, but I wish I could find this hair in my eye. It's driving me nuts. But anyways, just don't go in with a big fluffy brush. Use have you seen those triangle powder puffs? Those are great, or something like this, where you can really get under the eye if you're gonna powder the eye, or under here. Use the right tools will make a huge difference. So give me a minute, I will post this, and thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me and for all the kind words. I appreciate you. I hope you have the best Monday. Bye.